Okay, minor change of plans with the headliner on my 78. I mentioned it earlier. I'm not going to use this headliner board because it's the cardboard thing, and I had it upside down. I put a weight on it, and you can't really see it, and it still wouldn't come out of its droop. And it's had 40 years to get bent out of shape. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to use this guy. This came out of 78 or 9 Cordoba, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They're all well, 78 and 9s are all the same. Seat belts were different in 75, 6, and 7. So that's where the seat belt goes. Anyway, this is in perfectly fine shape. You know, it's good. It's got a couple scuffs in it. I'm not going to leave it gold. That would look very strange. I'm going to cover it with a fabric that's about the right color. But before I do, just because I can and I want to experiment a little bit, I'm going to put this stuff on. It's kind of it's a really thin foam. It's a little bit stiff, but not terribly bad. You know, just to kind of, you know, do a little more sound deadening and give it a little more texture, or maybe a lack of. And this is what this stuff is. Made by Basel, and there's a part number for it. If it'll focus. There we go. And this is black. It's laminated and it's a brushed polyester. That just means what it has on each side. There's several different versions of this same basic material. It's just kind of a stiff foam. It's used in arts and crafts and sewing and stuff like that, just to kind of stiffen up fabric or whatever. So, but anyway, so what I'm gonna do, I'll get the dust blown off here. I'll glue this stuff on using 3M General Trim adhesive. I've used this many times, gluing headliner together, just putting fabric on headliners. I'll glue that stuff on, the black stuff. I'll put it on here. I'll let that sit for a day or so, make sure it's good and cured and set up, and then I'll put the fabric over the top of it, and I'll cut my holes back through and whatnot else. And then it'll get back into the car. Headliner is, I'd say, half done. Obviously, the black is on, that little foam stuff. I don't know, you can kind of see it in the video. There's a few wrinkles. I don't think that they're going to be seen. The light hits it right. You can kind of see one here where the stuff was folded in the bag. I don't know if I could have washed it and it would have came out of it. I don't think it's going to matter too much. And even if there are some wrinkles in there, it's a headliner. You're not going to look at it that much anyway. So here's my last chance if I want to go with my Christmas pattern on the roof. I don't think I will. Although that would be kind of interesting. So. Headliner is done. Ran into a couple problems. The big one was the material that I first chose, the glue stained it so you could see it, and it was really noticeable because it was a solid color. And I was pretty bummed because that color was right on the money. This stuff is pretty darn close, and it's got a weird kind of pattern to it. It's hard to see, but any staining that might come through is never going to be seen. And it's a headliner, so who gives a rip? The other problem, I don't know if you can kind of see them or not. I can get over there and show you one. This foam that I put up underneath, there you can kind of see them. There were some wrinkles in it from it being all folded up, and I figured they would probably go away, or that when I got the material on, it wouldn't be that noticeable. Well, yeah, they are. So hopefully they'll kind of come out of it, you know, once it's not folded up in a bag. Or you know, maybe I could have washed this stuff first and taken the wrinkles out that way, or maybe it was just a bad idea straight off the bat no matter what. So I guess time will tell. And again, it's a headliner. You're not going to be looking up there that much. It's going to be fine. It's not like it's a 1,000-point show car, so. Doing some interior panels. That's the finished product. Looks pretty awesome. This is what it looked like before, and all those white spots, that's the plastic all faded out, which seems like a lot of fade considering this thing sat in a barn for 30 years. But you know, the plastic itself, you know, this is typical that they get all crusty and rot, and it isn't terribly bad. And this isn't a perfect restoration. This is just making it nicer. That's a lot nicer. The stuff I used, whoops, a SEM, it's Firethorn Red 15113 is the number. That's what I'm using for this stuff. This particular color covers really, really good. And there's this 15363. This is what I'm using on the vinyl, not just the plastic. This particular color is almost the same, a little different. Doesn't cover very well, so I spray down a couple coats of the other stuff first and then go over it with this. And I'm doing the vinyl and the plastic in two slightly different shades because that's the way they were from the factory. It was never really always the same color. And since I have the option to do it like that, I'm going to do it like that. Otherwise, the interior is turning out really well. I've got a lot of little pieces to paint, but that would look horrible in there. This looks fantastic. About half of the interior is in. Wow, that's a bad glare. Headliner looks nice in there. Got my quarter trim in, or panels I should say, not really trim. Look beautiful. Got the dash in. The dash pad has got cracks in it, but I don't care. It's a twin speaker dash and that's good enough for this car. Still need to do something with the steering wheel. It looks like complete crap. So I'll take that off and mess with that later. Getting the carpet and the seats professionally cleaned. When that gets done, I'll get the rest of that put in. And that'll be pretty much it for the interior. Still have to decide what radio I'm going to put in. But we'll see. Okay, about 99% of the interior is in. I know this is not going to show up that well in the video, but I got my door panels redone just like I did the quarter trim. And like I said, it doesn't show up good on the video, but they look really nice. The one I haven't done yet is the driver's one that's sitting there. Because, if I can reach, because of that, I'm going to see if I can find a different armrest pull part before I put it on. And kind of see the headliner a little bit. And see that weird multicolored thing. It looks okay, and a lot of the lines and the wrinkles and stuff that were in there before have come out. I've got one seam back here that's still there, but you know, it doesn't even show up in the video unless I get really close, so I'm not too worried about it. Radio still have to put in. I don't know if I'm going to put the original one in or if I'm going to put a newer one that it's got a CD player in. Not sure yet. If I can lean back far enough here. Steering wheel, I got these fake leather covers, you know, that was pretty popular back in the day. So that looks pretty nice. Otherwise, it's seats are in, carpet's in. It'll need a little vacuuming after I get done working on everything, but otherwise, like I say, the interior is looking pretty nice.